Shora. Welcome to another episode of Strange Seeds, the Unwritten campaign. Unwritten being the official game of the
Shora.
Myst universe. Welcome to
Oh,
another
and
episode
I
of
have a
Strange.
microphone up.
There we go. Okay, my sound's better now. Um, Hello, and as people in the chat are saying, we get to vroom on into the game here. Thank you for being patient during our break in July. It was just a kind of a busy month, so we had to skip July there. Um, but welcome for joining us. I'm Veronica. I'm the GM and the primary developer. I get a hello from everybody. Um, in the game to make sure we got their sound right. So, Thomas.
Oh, I'm Thomas. My voice is terrible. I've been running things all week um, at Gen Con here. So, yeah, I saw a couple people who are familiar with the game. So, if you're one of the people that I saw this weekend and you're in the chat room, hello,
Hi.
welcome.
Yeah,
Very
welcome.
good to see you. But yeah, hi. So, if my voice is terrible, I apologize.
Okay, no, Q.
Everybody.
Hey. Faroguy.
Hello, everybody.
And Alana.
Hey everyone, sure.
Hey. Cap couldn't be here today, so we'll be sans Celia for this particular episode. Um, but we've got a lot of things that we're going to get into this week. Before we get there, we're going to go ahead and do our announcements. We'll start with the usual ones, which is, if you like what we do, there's a Patreon at the bottom, or you can subscribe, or feel free to, cheer bits in the chat if you like that sort of thing. Um, and hello to a lot of our regulars out there: Rachel, Ayazan, Junie, Parker, who have shown up today to support us. Thank you very much with that. Remember to buy Cyan products. There's a reason we're here. Um, and also remember that I do streams, Unwritten / Myst theme stream on Tuesdays on this channel at 7 p.m. Pacific. And I occasionally do non Myst related things on Thursdays at 7 Pacific. And this game, of course, is the first Sunday of every month at 1 p.m. Pacific. So, but you know that at least somewhat because you're here. Okay, we've got a few more announcements that people are going to have to make. So I'm going to go ahead and pass off to Ilana.
Hey everyone, as you know, Mysterium is coming up very soon, and Myst documentary is going to be presenting at Mysterium. I guess there's good news, and I won't say bad news, but sad news. The sad news, if you haven't heard, is just that we are not going to be attending in person. Originally we were, and due to health considerations, the whole team ended up deciding to present virtually instead. But the good news is that there will still be Philip and Katie and myself presenting, and also there is another team member, Joshua, who's going to be presenting with us. And I know the Myst documentary has often showed up at Mysterium in the past. This year, I think it's going to be a big year. They're going to be a number of announcements, a number of new unseen content, like video clips. Yeah, it's been fun seeing the behind the scenes of this. And I think we're all really making a push to have a great Mysterium presentation this year. So I hope you will stop by, whether you are at home or watching it streamed from Denver. That's all. I'll be doing part of the presentation talking about the vault of stories where we're collecting community stories. It is live and we're in the process of rolling it out to more and more people. On that note, if you are a backer at the planetarium level or above and you want to get access to submitting your story to the vault as soon as possible, apparently we really need everyone to submit their backer surveys. That has been one thing that's been an obstacle to getting Fangamer to kind of provide the access codes to everyone is that if they don't have your backer survey, they can't send that out to you. So there should be a link that you received in an email to do that. If not, you can email the documentary team and we can resend the backer survey link. Yeah, I think that's all.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Lana. And Pharaoh, you had some announcements?
I do. As you can see, my wife has yet again done some amazing art.
Yay!
She actually did this art 8 years ago, she just told me. But it was oddly prescient because we are now pregnant with twins. My wife is due in about 3 weeks, so I expect to be missing this for the next 3 months. I may be able to show up in the chat occasionally, but twin girls will take an awful lot of time for a while. So I will, but I will be back, no doubt. Maybe with some cute little girls on the stream. That is
That's
it.
kind. Cool. And does your wife still has a couple of her books out?
That is true. She has a book called Bunster, which you can find on Amazon and maybe at Barnes and Noble. A few of them have picked it up.
Awesome.
And yeah, it got some awards,
Oh,
like
awesome.
some family awards, like Purple
Congrats.
Dragonfly and
That's
Family
great.
Choice Award. So she's really happy, and it's
Absolutely.
very cute.
Sounds great. Okay, and now Thomas, you had some stuff. You are at Gen Con currently.
I am. I will be leaving here tomorrow, and then I will be doing laundry on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, I will be getting on the road to Mysterium because, as some of you may have guessed, there's some stuff. Over the last month, see, in July, we had to take a break because we discovered this new portal into an unexplored branch variant where we were able to find some really cool relics that we're going to be bringing with us to Mysterium. So we've got a very elaborate display setup that's going to be there. Should be very cool for everybody to see. So if you're going to be there in person, otherwise, if you're not going to be there in person, we will still have camera and stuff, and may, going to depend on how the Holiday Inn is when we get there, be able to get some video out there in some way, shape, or form. So if you're going to be at Mysterium, you'll see me. I'll be either wearing this lovely shirt or I'll be wearing the Mysterium shirt, one of the two. So, and I should be pretty hard to miss. So stop by, say hi, see all the cool stuff. Lots of cool stuff. People have been very excited to see some of these things here in Gen Con. So if you're one of the people who saw them here, don't spoil it for everybody else.
Thanks. Well, thank you, Thomas, and thank you for looting the DRC to get those cases back in the back there. They just leave that stuff around, so I mean, we got to make some use of it.
Yeah, there's some
I don't
pretty
think
cool
those
stuff.
codes actually
DRC.
do anything. I know.
Awesome.
This one's even still a little warm.
Oh, there you go. He just pulled it out of one of the DRC, one of the Resing's hands. Just you don't need that anymore.
Yeah.
Can I carry your bag, sir?
Yeah. Okie doke. Well, okay, I think that's pretty much the announcements. Hugh's going to go ahead and give us our recap from the last session, not the last month, because, of course, we weren't here. And then we will get into the game.
Right on. Well, hopefully I can read my very excited writing. Highlight was the New Age. We went to Naramai, New Age, written by Laundress. It's like the main Lincoln Point is a lake with these two floating rock islands in the middle of it. We've decided there's like diurnal jellies, and like the lake has like this purple luminescence at night, hence like the background, Lana's background. It's a rendition of what we're looking at on Narumai. And we decided that there are cuttle hornets and there are lizards that eat cuttle hornets. Sad. And the lake has these underwater whirlpools. And when the whirlpools act up, they glow a certain color and like rocks float. And if the rock floats over another whirlpool glowing a different color, it sinks again. So we've discovered that the rocks only float when they're over water. Luckily, our rocks are pretty big, and that's why they don't seem to be sucked into the whirlpools. There hasn't been a whirlpool big enough to make our giant island sink. So we decided this is the place to be. As we were like, Laundress was checking out one island, he noticed that the other island was populated. And it was Celia. We had gone looking for her in Heller, and there'd been nothing going on. We were really worried that she was lost in somewhere in the city and dead. And turned out Nome had gone and picked her up and dumped her off on Narumai before we even got there and before the H was even written, time paradox stuff. Always good. So yay, happy reunion. And she had discovered that the cuttle hornets make like 4 different flavors of honey depended on which flowers they feed off of. And she was using bark to make tea. And so she's already she's kind of our guide to the New Age because she's been there the longest. So the rest of the time we were sort of working on making a lift to get things moved up to the island so we could make a home there. And that's about it. We're all looking, just trying to figure out our New Age and what's going on. And Tome goes back and checks and finds out there's something like the first seed hanging off the root inside the tunnel in Javan. And it's small, and as she approaches it, it falls off and rolls to her feet. It doesn't glow, but she like carefully picks it up and puts it in a bag and like hangs it off a branch like further away, so because she doesn't want it to fall off and grow and make another tree and have something else happen. I'm not sure if she told anybody about this discovery of a new seed with this funny husk thing. So that's where we left off, I think. Yes.
Okie doke. Okie doke. So you guys
You
have
are
been...
muted,
No
V.
sound.
You're muted.
Oh,
Yep.
I have too many mute buttons. But now they're all up. So you guys have been, spending some time getting, kind of getting accustomed to the to Narumai. Starting to put together some of the things that you've been building, some that sort of thing. Celia has, gone and decided to do the surveyor thing and survey the area. So she's gone out a little bit on walkabout to, kind of get the greater area around the lake, and then past that, over some of the hills and such. Okay, so what sort of things have you been setting up on your islands here? I mean, I think some of you had some very specific things that you wanted to put in place.
Giant slingshot.
What?
A giant slingshot.
A giant slingshot.
Right. There was something about a gondola.
I know there was some zip lines
Mm-hmm.
that were put down.
Oh yeah, the various vines have different elasticities and qualities and stuff. That's what Celia had discovered.
Yes.
That was important. Like, great. And
I think Robin built like a lift to the top of the island.
Yeah.
Some pulleys and that sort of things with the various things, and there was a boat that you guys put together that came, from the shore over kind of to the main island, and then from up there there's a pulley system that sort of to get up like that. So I mean, you've got a pretty good set of ways of getting on and off the island at this point. You've got the zip lines to come off, and you've got down to the water and the boat on the water. Did you guys want? If I remember correctly, because we've got in it's Alana's background is kind of the shot of Narumai there. I think there's that's a bridge between the two, right? In there?
yes.
Right, which I
For
think
sure.
Yeah, that
London
was something.
good.
Yeah, something Mashavan and I were going to be working on, was getting that bridge system set up with me using the set the anchor point and getting everything brought across so we could at least get it rudimentarily and then finished.
Yeah.
And Laundress had drafted a blueprint
I
for the
had.
islands, so everyone can see, and it can act as a boost, a +1 to anybody who wants to use it, but
Mhm.
they can only use it once.
Yeah.
So the reminder there, I see that. Yeah.
Oh, and the comment from the chat that Alana's gestures was totally our airline can get you there, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Awesome, absolutely. Okay, so we've got the rope bridge between that sort of thing. Are there any other things that you guys want to be focusing on right here, either in this age or the other age? What are your priorities right now?
Making sure, making sure that we have the lodging sorted and food, water, that kind of stuff. I think was the core that Landers was focusing on. Once we got all the access and preventative for incursions sorted.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know Kenneth was trying to work on alternate methods to cook food that didn't involve heat, like or to preserve food, because the cuttle hornets are attracted to heat. So every time she cooks, she gets swarmed, and that's just annoying. So I would think that maybe she developed like a solar dehydrator, like she's working towards a freeze drying system, but maybe a solar dehydrator. And she would definitely be trying to make mead with all the different like
from the honey, yeah. But I suspect some of it also comes down to like some sort of kind of dome, kind of woven dome or something like that. Just because at some point you got to use heat for something, and so something that like a cover or something like that.
Yeah, with a chimney stack that would work.
Yeah,
the kitchen would look like a greenhouse. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the hornets don't really get up to the tops of the the islands, so that's relatively safe. They tend to stay down more around the lake. They don't tend to go much higher than that. So you get an occasional one up there, but it's not much of a problem up there.
Okay, good.
Okay. What's Mashavan been working on?
Using the movement of the rocks to somehow generate power.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, smart. I like it.
So just kind of like like if
a
they drift
tidal.
up, store some potential energy, and then and
Cool.
being able to actually store the energy is the trick part. Of course, because they don't move really consistently.
Yeah.
Or at least they don't move constantly. So there's times where there's not a lot of power through that.
Yeah.
Maybe he could use the leftover that device we found on the age with all the electricity, and then we brought home that battery
Kellen?
that was from Kellen. Maybe he could use that to make a battery to store the energy in, because that's what that was, I'm pretty sure. And we brought it home with us.
I don't think we ever got a chance to investigate that machine, now that I think about it.
I could totally see that he would have brought it home because it was pretty weird.
We did bring it out of the age, at least.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
It is a thought. It's something I'll think about for the next couple of minutes. Go ahead and come back to me later.
Give it a chance. Okay. What has Tome been up to in your new place here or places?
Yeah, I think when last we left her, she was working on, there's like a sort of thieves' cant that she's developed, sort of a secret language that she's trying to teach to the rest of the group. And so I think she was kind of mapping out the passageways on Nermai with, and also on, what is it, Javon? Is that?
I think that's what it was.
So I think she was going around kind of marking secret directions on the different passageways and tunnels, and kind of creating some spy holes so we could bring people easily see our surroundings from the inside of these floating rocks. And yeah, I guess her main concern at this point is still either figuring out if there are survivors from whatever happened that sent us here, or figuring out if we somehow need to travel back in time to stop it from happening, because there aren't any survivors, but maybe we have the power to do something about it. Maybe specifically she thinks she has the power to do something about it. So I think kind of beyond basic, like, okay, we have a new home here and it feels relatively safe. I think her focus is elsewhere, is like
Okay.
getting back, finding survivors, that kind of thing.
Okie doke. So, in terms of getting back, you mean getting back to Denise specifically?
Right. So I think last session she was looking for Celia, and she linked to Heller, and found that like there was no recent activity there and a lot of time passed. And I think none of us have dared to link anywhere else yet, partly because I think our Denis linking books are still pretty black, right? Like you just can't see anything.
The linking books to that you have to Denis, the screens there, the linking panels are completely black. Just no light whatsoever, no shadow, nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess another option would be to link back to Kennelin at some point. We haven't tried that in a while.
I think didn't somebody link back to Kenlin?
Laundress did.
Laundress did.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you saw there?
Yeah, it was. I'm sorry, I don't have my notes with me because it's in that bag that didn't get here.
Oh, no problem. There wasn't any really thing left in the village there.
Right. It was like it had been a very long time or something. It would kind of fallen into decrepitness and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and the cave on the side of the mountain was still there, but had been caved in, because I mean, it exploded early, when you guys were there. So
right,
that tends to have effects.
Yeah, I'm trying to even remember why I went to Kennelin. Oh no, it was to test our new linking books. Right, that's what it was.
That's what it was. Sorry, I don't have everything.
No problem.
No, it's okay. It's been 2 months and a lot of stuff between here and there.
Yeah, exactly. Life continues. Okay, no. So it sounds like Tome, you were kind of spearheading the effort around kind of figuring out the connection to Denis and such. What do you think your next steps on that will be?
We don't currently have access to any like of the really good secure maintainer suits, do we? Like the kind that could let you link into like the void of space.
No, we've got some maintainer stuff that Laundress had, but it wasn't like the deep the really hardcore exploration stuff. It was kind of your standard hazmat maintainer suit.
Yeah.
We hadn't gotten our bathysphere yet, unfortunately.
Yes.
That's the main reason we need to get back to Denis to claim our bathysphere.
Yeah.
You gotta have priorities. We gotta
Helen promised
cool stuff.
Yes. Tellin did say it would be there. We would have the best thing. We have no excuse anymore.
Yeah.
Come on, Tellin. Where's all this stuff that could have prevented the apocalypse?
Yeah.
Right.
He was too busy trying to figure out how it was all Laundress's fault. He knew it was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, as that cloud was descending upon the cavern, he was thinking, "God damn it, Landress! Gosh darn it, Landress!"
Yeah. So I think I think she's going to be pretty transparent with the rest of our crew and just ask for some help, both with like, hey, is there any way we could get access to hardcore maintainer suits or build them ourselves? Also, I think she'll mention the seed that she found. She's no expert on, Kenneth might have some background in plants, and I don't know if, I think Tomei's not sure whether these seeds are linked to time travel in any way, but she wouldn't mind putting some, because we don't really have a physicist, but like maybe an engineer on that task.
So something I do remember, if you hadn't told Landris, then this was when you did tell Landris, this was he's going to tell you, do not bring that seed to Neremai because he does not want another weird tree spawning and him having to write another age so quickly.
Yeah.
Neremai is seed-free zone.
Seed-free zone. Idea.
I will write you a whole new age just to test all your seeds. But
Q, what did you say? You said you had an idea?
Well, yeah. If we want to risk it, like you risk going to Kennelin, what if we risk going to Sallow? Because Tomei's father's body is still in a maintainer suit on Sallow. Perhaps we could lay him to rest somewhere, and then we have another suit to play with to scavenge for parts to try to make a better maintainer suit.
So we have 4 presently that are all good. 4? We have 4 presently that are all good.
Okay.
Yeah,
actually, we might have 5. Yeah, we might have 5 that are actually all good because Tomei's dad is one of the second-hand ones that we originally got.
Yeah.
So we have 4. So we have 4.
So you have enough. Okay.
Retro suits with 1.
So it feels wrong to leave him in a maintainer suit on Sallow.
Well, yeah, that wasn't meant to be the case.
It was a short-term thing.
Landris didn't know the apocalypse was coming.
Yeah. And Kenneth would be interested in using some of those grasses. Like she'd be interested in going to Sallow for parts, so to speak. That's because it's so agricultural.
Mm-hmm.
And if she wants to try to sow some seeds, she doesn't want to do it on Neremai, try to grow things. She'd rather experiment on Sallow. And try garden plots or something there and see how it goes. Maybe if we want to risk Sallow, but who knows, right? Like not that many people had access to that age to begin with.
I think Sallow is probably one of the safer bets out of the options we've had.
Yeah.
So I would be fine with that.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I mean, I think just tracing our steps as much as possible is probably worthwhile. Just picking up the pieces, being like, let's look at these familiar places and see what's changed and whether anyone else is hiding out there. And
yeah, I think that's a good idea. And then she'll probably start tilling some land over on Sallow, just so that we're not mucking with the place that has floaty rocks. like if I water it, is my dirt gonna float? Like dang it, not yet. I think it would be good because then too, it's obviously been really good weather over there for that kind of stuff. So she could, then it wouldn't pollute Neremai with Sallow seed or plants or nematodes or soil nematodes and all that junk. You got to worry about things like that.
Yeah. Please don't blow up the new age. We've only had it for 5 minutes.
Yeah, so that's why she doesn't really want to experiment there. Plus, she's a little lazy. She doesn't want to have to go down the lift and paddle all the way across to go to her garden on the shore. She'd rather just link. Thank you very much.
Right, exactly.
Honestly, she's a little lazy. To be honest, that's the whole reason. It's not about soil nematodes. It's because she's a lazy ass.
Yeah, and you know what? Sallow's really barren already. It could use some greenery.
This is true.
I think so.
Okay, so what's the plan then exactly? Who's doing what where?
Well, if she's going to Sallow, that first one in, last one out is going to compel me to go there.
Okay. So is it going to be like a group, the whole group to Sallow? Are we splitting the party?
Well, didn't we leave a book to Kennelin on Sallow?
That too, yeah.
Hidden
under a tree or something.
Might be good to have eyes on that, or even bring that book home with us.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, in Sallow there was kind of 2 areas. There was the official area,
and then the underground area where we left.
Yeah. So there was never a book to Kennelin unless somebody else left one there. There were books to the office.
Okay.
There, because So there was
Okay,
one
'cause you guys were still
back
using
to
the office as a
so
central place. So.
right. So because
Mhm.
okay, so on Sallow, where we're supposed to be, right?
Oh.
Um. So
It is a
yeah.
book to the city, right? Like an
Well,
obvious
okay, yeah.
kid, right?
Landers had the very elaborate plot. I remember this. So I had a book to the office where we're supposed to be that got burned when I linked through, and there's one to the maintainer checkpoint. And then with Tomei's dad, right, there is not only Landris's D with the maintainer suit because or
Right.
key. No, Landris's key is with it because somebody's tracking our keys, so we're there, right? But also the office book is there too. So there is no Kennelin book there.
Okay, I thought there used to be by the big tree.
I think at one point
I
you guys
remembered
linked to
wrong.
Kennelin from
was
there, but then yeah.
that was an emergency link,
Ah.
and Landris grabbed that book on the way back to drop
Right,
off the
that was
dad.
it. You went and picked it up before Buddy could get it.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, now I remember. I'm like, there was a book.
Okay,
You
no.
picked it up.
So I mean, once again, are y'all together gonna go check out Salo, or are?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I will come. How do people feel about me going back and getting that seed to bring to Salo? Maybe Salo would be a safer environment to take a closer look at it. And worst comes to worst, if it somehow overpowers us and takes root in Salo, at least it's not here.
That's a great idea.
Sure.
I like it better than leaving it so close to that other, like its parent tree. To me, that seems like a double threat. Like, who knows what's going to happen if they double up?
Yeah.
I would totally support that.
So Landris would say maybe somebody other than Tomei should handle it because Tomei made the last tree grow. And she has the magic. She has the magic. Sorry, Landris is far more eloquent than I can be right now. But she's got the she's got the like the biometrics, like with her iron in her blood and stuff like that. That actually like, controls this. Like I said, Landris is far more eloquent than I could be at this precise moment in time. Yeah.
All right. So Mishavan will get some very thick gloves and an appropriately sized container, and we'll go back to Javan, and we'll take the bag with the seed, very carefully put it in the container, and then hold it and link to Salo directly and keep Neremiah seed free zone.
There you go.
That's a really good idea.
So someone's gonna probably go with you to take.
Yeah,
the
go
book?
with you so that they can pick up the solo book and link back to Neremiah.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, that would be Landris. Again,
Ah.
first one in, last one out.
Okay.
He's got to go make sure everybody's safe.
So I mean, will Tomei manually lead them there, or is Tomei just gonna give said these are the marks and you'll go there, or?
I think she'll come and the way she's going to take responsibility for that, even if she's not the one carrying it.
Yeah. So when you get there, the seed's about yay big. It's
a lot bigger.
Like
bigger than the
basketball?
person, bigger than the D's head. It's gotten a lot bigger.
And this is without
And
any
it's actually
alcohol.
it seems to have actually dropped off the vines.
Oh dear.
I thought it was already off the vines, and then we
Yeah, roll to her feet. I literally have it drops off and rolls 2 feet.
Oh, okay. I
But
apologize. So yeah,
basketball
there you
size?
go.
So now it's just bigger.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's a good thing that we're moving it then.
Landris looks around at the very first stage she ever wrote. Sees how this tree has just like overtaken all this hard work. And doesn't say anything. He just stares slightly disapprovingly.
Okay, no. So yeah, who's leaking first to Salo?
Landris, obviously.
There you go.
Oh no, because Landris has to bring the Salo book with him, right?
Okay. Okay, who's leaking in first? With the seed.
Mishavan, because he's carrying it.
Okay, there we go. So yeah, you link in, and this is the sort of official area here, and The area has actually been cleared out some. Before it was sort of in the middle of the field.
Mm.
But it's been noticeably sort of a clearing made. And there's some signs of at some point there was some sort of habitation here. Not extensive, or anything. But there definitely there's some signs that there was that people have been here and have stayed here for a while in the past.
So we're all wearing our maintainer suits, right?
Yes. So yeah, I guess the rest of you link all go ahead and link in. Wow, wow, boom, 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 boom. There
This
you
is where we find out one of our maintainer suits has sprung on me.
go. No. But no, so yeah, you look around. There's definitely
It's
some.
300 years in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Because
So it's been cleared out a bit. There is a pathway that's been sort of cleared out from this central area into that first section of trees.
Mm-hmm.
The closest one, which is the closest one, is the one you guys originally went into. So yeah, there had been some sort of occupation here, and yeah, that's what you see.
is our drone still there?
God, what happened to the drone? Oh God.
Because we had a drone. I think that's what had your key. You're flying it around.
Yeah.
Make it
Yeah,
look weird,
yeah,
like
Mashavan's. Yeah, it was Mashavan's little drone. That's exactly what it was.
You don't see that around here at all, though. No.
Hey, Mashavan should check where like my key says it is.
Could probably find it.
Does it even work? I mean, I think we decided
no,
it worked
great, zero.
locally.
Right, but this is locally. It should be
Yeah, it
local
should be
here.
All right.
If
So
we
yeah,
could pick it up, and that could help Celia out when she wants to come back. She could serve it with it.
that's a good idea.
Are you gonna check on your check for that on your key or
Yes.
your D? Fortunately, you're not getting any signal from it.
It got eaten.
Or it wasn't planned for, and we just threw for a loop.
Are we still tracking one of the fake keys, not KIKEYs, that we made? I think we were right.
Oh yeah.
Well, somebody had taken it. Yeah, somebody had taken it. We knew that much.
Yeah, I feel like we used that to our advantage in the past, but I'm assuming if we were to try tracking it again now, that we have also lost the signal. I don't remember.
Now, if you remind me about the tracking, was the tracking for that local or was it cross age?
Well, so we were tracking it cross age.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, then you are still getting a signal from that.
In the city, right? Because we tracked it, and that's how we knew where the door was.
You're getting a signal. You're getting a signal from it, but it's not in an age that the key system is familiar with.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man, guys, the cult survived. We didn't win.
So we need to build a space shuttle.
Get away! Get away! Okay, so
Yeah, Mashavan, that's all you.
Yep.
So what are you guys doing? What's the plan now?
So I vote we go away from the ocean to the little hideout that Landris set up.
So why didn't we? Okay, I'm gonna ask the stupid question.
Uh-huh.
Why didn't we use the book to the hideout that we had in Japan? Because we have a book to the hideout.
Because we didn't say we did.
There we go.
Well, then we would never have seen the former settlement here.
Right.
Yeah, very clearly. Yes, there we go. So yeah, so it's like, so if I remember, it's like a half-day walk to where the hideout is.
Do I want to be carrying this?
Yeah.
Because
I want to be carrying the seed the whole way, huh?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Because Landris specifically walked like, I didn't even more than a half. Oh God, no, it's more than a half day. Because I walked a half day towards the ocean and did the drone, and then I linked back to the center and then I did a
might
half
be a
day the
bit.
other way.
Such a half day from where we are.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to spend a fate point, I can say that you also brought the the other book with you, and you could do a quick like jump to Kennelin and then jump back to whatever. You don't have to do a quick. You don't have to do. If you spend a fate point, we don't have to do a weird thing with having to jump back through Narramind. So
Yeah.
Um,
I'll drop my fate point for that. That's okay. I have a
just
feeling
for
I'm going to get
expediency's
compelled more
sake,
than once this session.
okie doke. Okay, so for that that you've got the books that you need in order to kind of quickly and no fuss get to the secret area, your secret area.
mhm.
Is it going to be everybody again?
I'm going to specifically try to go first this time
Okay.
because I want to see Tomei's dad before Tomei sees Tomei's dad to make sure it's something not terrible.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then Mishavan
I
can
don't know, like what Kenneth would do. Like, I think she'd be interested to see if she can figure out if there's anybody still there. She would want to go like stealth mission and see if she can find where the people are, if there are still people.
Okay, so you're gonna
I think
search the
I
area
would be
then?
like, yeah, obviously don't leave the seed where there could be other Dunedin, like that would be bad, right? But also she kind of wants to like, I think she'd want to hang back and make sure no one was watching them, make sure no one noticed, kind of a thing, and then try to figure out where the settlement was.
Okay.
If there's no one there, she's totally gonna loot everything.
in
clearly,
a long held adventure game rules.
It's true.
If they're not there, it's open game.
Mhm.
well, clearly, we should be putting the seed where the rest of the Dunny are, because then the seed can be free for all, and there doesn't need to be a cult.
Okay, so we're gonna end up. Sounds like we're gonna kind of go into two groups.
Mhm.
Q's group is going to go ahead and kind of search this area. Landris is going to check his space. Mishavan and Tomei, what are you going with one of these two groups? Are you doing stuff on your own?
I'm going with Laundress
Uh-huh.
to deposit the seed somewhere slightly safer.
Okay.
I'm still holding it at arm's length.
After the
what about
bubble
Tomei?
incident.
I was thinking of staying with Kenneth to split it 2 and 2, but I think that Tomei wants to go if the seed and also like her like biological father's body are going to be at the other location. I think she feels like she needs to go there. So I think she's going with Landis and Mishavan.
Okie doke. So let's go ahead and you guys do the sort of 3-card Monte that is moving from moving through an age to get back to a different part of this age. While you guys are doing that, we'll talk have Kenneth a little bit. So what's the plan, Kenneth? Where are you looking? So once again, we've got the cleared out area.
Like,
We've
if
got
there's
the
only
path that
one
leads
path,
to the forest.
yeah, is there only that one path leading to
That's
the
the
forest?
most used. There are sort of I mean, for lack of a better term, game trails, kind of leading in different directions. But that one looks like it was, at one point, more consciously made.
Yeah, I think she'd probably run up the main path because there's no cover. It's not like she's not gonna crawl through the grass all the way up like this. She's hoping to catch, if there's someone up there, she's hoping she'll either arrive and catch them off guard or be able to run up and get behind a tree before anyone notices her, kind of a thing. So I think she'll just be like running up the path towards the forest.
Okie doke. You get into the forest, and inside, once you kind of get break the get into the forest and get into the sort of the border between the sort of harsh border that's there between the forest and the plains. You find that there's more evidence of habitation in here. There's some um, you know Denis, I mean, there's some stone here that has been kind of shaped into some basic, huts and such. Um, there's not anything in them at the moment, but they do look like they've been there for a long time. Also,
Weird.
there's sort of a sort of cleared out place where there are several, there are several sort of markers which are um, Denis burial markers.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They're not like Denis have their own sort of style of headstone, does it? But they're very distinctively Denis burial markers. There's about 2 dozen of them.
Okay. Well, then
Yeah,
it probably wasn't the plague because then no one would have been around to bury them. So if someone buried the bodies, that's a very good sign. Okay. Yeah, that she'll think it's super weird that it looks like they were made, packed up, and gone a long time ago. Because yeah, I don't think she's quite grasped this whole time thing.
Okay.
I wonder. Okay, no, there was no book left there. We moved it, so I don't know. She might then go and follow one of the lesser used trails to see if they moved. Like if they used to live here, but they picked up and moved. She'd probably at that point send a D message, like with a photo of like the path she's taking to the team so that they know which way she's gone.
Okay, doke. Are you gonna pass any information on the stuff you found in the forest and such?
Yeah, like their names on the markers. Like she might try. Yeah, because then she would be like, "Does that anyone know these? Like, is there any names she recognizes? Maybe."
Oh, I mean, they're all the markers have they're all carved very nicely in the very Denis sort of ways. Because Denis had those devices that could shape stone really easily, and they've all got Guild of Maintainers symbols on them.
Okay.
And one of them, you do recognize one name. It is Tellen.
What?
First good news.
She's very tempted to take a photo of herself dancing in front of it, but
actually dancing on his grave.
Yeah. What? Oh my goodness! All with.
So. Yeah.
Okay. Before she goes and does that the other way, she'll obviously let everyone know what she's found because that's pretty wild.
Okay.
So yeah.
We'll swap back then to the group that's going to the section, and I'll tell you when the D message comes in.
Yeah, so real quick, as part of me spending the fate point, because I didn't have the mental clarity to think about this at the time, but when we were doing the swap, one of the things Landris would have checked for is the book Back to Maintainer HQ still where it's supposed to be?
Yes, it is there. It is completely dark.
Okay. So the people who have ventured forth from there didn't take any linking books and stuff with them.
Didn't take that linking book.
Yeah.
You didn't find any other linking books in the area. But...
Cool. So yes. All right.
Huh.
Okay, so you guys link into kind of the secret area, which is another one, about half a day's of walk away, and it's another one of those forest areas, and it's really overgrown. Like, I mean, Well,
so the linking book should take me right to the cave where her dad is.
Well, that was kind of underneath it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you've got the cave there. I mean, the cave is overgrown in the sense that the opening.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there's just there's trees and plants and all kinds of stuff like that, so it's pretty dark in there. The cave is pretty much as you left it. It looks like it. I mean, there's dirt and kind of dust and plants, kind of poking up some of that. So I mean, it doesn't seem like anyone's been here to disturb it at all. But it has been. It looks like it's been quite a long time since anybody's been here.
So the first thing before anybody else shows up is Landris is going to look at to where like Tome's dad's body is, And he's just gonna sort of wait because she comes out from nowhere, from what he's told. Tome, and he's looking for Nome, but it's like
Oh.
he half expects if she's gonna be anywhere right now, it might be here, to born or whatever.
Nope,
On that note, actually, I think we've established that the Kennelite bracelet that I have glows when it's near other bracelets of the same make.
So you've got it on you?
And I have it on,
Okay.
so I assume it has not been glowing at all.
Well, I mean, have you linked in yet, or are we still in the part where where Laundress is doing the third initial sweep?
I think Tommy would have followed pretty soon
Okay.
after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no glow on the net on
Okay.
that. No.
So
Okay.
yeah. So Landris will then try to keep a little bit of distance between him and Tomei, so that in case it's terrible,
Mm-hmm.
he can spare her the sight.
Mm-hmm. No
But
problem.
yeah,
So you're gonna check out the body then?
yeah. How bad is it?
Okay. Well, I mean, it was inside a maintainer suit, and those are are relatively sealed when you put them together. So
Right.
But over time,
there it the remains of him is there. It's probably it's when you kind of open it up, it sort of outgasses a little bit with sort of
Oh no. Through the viewport, if he
through the
looks
viewport.
kind of okay, I'm not gonna outgas that because that's what'll cause things to be bad.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I mean, it's in the sense that it God, it you're not really a doctor, but I mean, it's been a
But
while.
but he's not like all because maintainer seats don't create a vacuum.
Yeah.
So, but it's not like icky.
like it might be a skeleton by now. I would assume either the skin would have dried.
I mean, the skin would have dried and such, but I mean, maintainer suits do create an airtight seal.
Right. Mostly what Landris is trying to prevent is like, I'm trying to say this nicely. I don't want it to look like a Metallica album cover inside that maintainer suit window.
I'm like, clearly
With-
putrefaction. If it
right.
can't escape, would be pretty bad. It'd be like a skeleton in like orange nasty goo.
Right. But as long as there's not
Which is-
like maggots
No,
involved.
there's no maggots or anything
Because if it's
like that. Nothing like
airtight.
that. I mean, it's been there's been the
Would it be
putrefaction
mummified?
time probably less than you might expect, given how old it seems. How
Because
old
we
the
didn't
cave
preserve the
seems.
body.
Right.
Because but there hasn't been bacteria wouldn't have more bacteria wouldn't have gotten in there, bugs wouldn't have gotten in there.
Right.
The maintainer suit would have protected most of that.
Right.
So just kind of sort of the standard
Yeah.
putrefaction.
So more like the desiccation that you see.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Mummified.
that wouldn't be too bad. It'd be
Yeah,
still
there you
scary, but I'm like,
Yeah.
it might be more mummification.
It's more
Yeah.
mummy than Metallica.
Okay. Then good. Then he's okay with Tomei coming over. Like,
Unfortunately, Alana, the player, already had to hear all of that.
Oh dear.
All of
Yeah, sorry. It's like an episode of Bones.
exactly. All right.
all right. Whose Google search history is going to be really weird tonight?
Being a writer, man.
What's
Dangerous.
Mashavan doing?
Mashaman is going to link in to this unexpectedly, holding a seed at arm's length.
Ah,
Is it glowing in the darkness?
only faintly. I mean,
Okay.
it's really dark, so you can kind of see it here, but it's not glowing as much as it could.
That's reassuring.
Yeah.
And when he sees what's going on around the maintainer's suit, he is going to very quietly set the seed down kind of off to the side.
Okay.
And just kind of wait a little
Okie
bit.
doke. What are you doing, Tome?
Yeah, trying to differentiate Tomei a little bit more from myself. I think she actually goes and checks out the body anyway. I
Okay.
think she just goes straight there. She's not just gonna take someone else's word. And I think
Well, I don't think Landris would have told you anything. He would have just like not stopped you from
I
coming
see.
over.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, especially if she's heard no word about it. I think she wants to go check on the body. And
Yeah. Unfortunately, the body is past the point where you can really identify, features on the face and such.
Yeah. Is there, I mean, I know we talked about the outgassing. Well, Tome was probably not around to hear that, but well, Landris was thinking about it. But I think she kind of wants to actually just bury the body in a way that it can decompose and kind of be taken up back into the ecosystem. Maybe she's, I feel like, inspired by being like a planter of seeds, but I think she just wants nature to reclaim the body, and that would kind of help her feel at peace with it.
Convenient that Kennett's found a graveyard.
Yeah, it's about now when you get that message, the D message from Kennett.
So.
Okay. Yeah. Right, and we think that this person was Denis, right? We're pretty sure of that. So maybe she wants to suggest bringing the body to the Denis graveyard and burying it properly there without the maintainer's suit.
We could probably do that before we open it, because Landris hadn't thought about it, because again, all Landris was worried about was the visual. Like, he didn't want you to see a terrible sight, right? So he hasn't really thought about much of anything. Now that we're talking about outgassing, he will sort of reach into his maintainer thing and offer you the official unwritten N95 mask to prevent you from getting any sort of poor smells. And,
look at that.
Sure. That is amazing. And
yeah, so you
slip that in there. I like that.
Yeah, so you don't get any of like the, any possible issues carrying the body from potential bad smells or other sort of bacterium. So
if you let Kennett know, she'll start like clearing a spot and start digging, because I'm sure there's stuff around to do that. So if you let her know that's what your intentions are, she'll find a spot that's not next to Talon on the cool kid side of the graveyard.
Thank you.
And start preparing a spot.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I don't think we really need to go through the minutia of the process.
No, yeah.
Maybe not. A little bit of
that's a bit macabre.
Yeah. But yeah. But yeah. So you do get him put to rest. You now have another maintainer suit, which will need some cleaning out.
Yeah,
and you were gonna wait for them then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll take her some time to dig too, and so she'll try to.
Okay, so you set it up. You set up sort of an extra grave in. This.
Do we know his name?
So actually, so on the maintainer suit topic, I had an idea. Well, I know it's because it's already been used for hundreds of years. And when it comes to Dunny burial rituals, we obviously don't have a coffin. But since there's like the heavier duty cloth in there, could it be made could we harvest the cloth from it and make a shawl instead of just burying him normally with the stuff from the maintainer suit? Because we got plenty. We got like 10, counting this one, total. We could stand to lose one.
I mean, you guys can kind of set up whatever sort of memorial or how you want to prepare it, grave goods, makeshift, sort of thing. By the way,
we never asked Grandma for his name. That was dumb.
So, Landris, you recognize many of the names on these.
Oh man, these are all my maintainer buddies that
pretty
I
much.
let down.
Several of the people who worked with Talon.
Man, I'm not gonna get my pension. Landris is much more serious about this. No.
Landris has not been busy all weekend.
Right.
Maintainer
So, So no, so he'd go actually over to Tellins and sort of, kneel down and, see, first of all, like, is there, like screw Landris, stuff anywhere nearby, or,
No.
this was all your fault?
You
Like,
know, there's
okay.
nothing like, last words.
Okay, so
You know,
he'll go in because, he still has his like, he still has his little maintainer's kit. So on one of the things there, he'd take off like the little maintainer seal,
mhm.
and like he just, like the little, for lack of a better description, like the badge.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Oh, right.
totally, I get it.
Hold on. I got this. So, yeah, sure, and then sort of do the, if you've ever seen, like where they put the pin like on the coffin and then,
Yep.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
totally. I
but
totally
do
get it.
that like with the headstone for Tellin with the
Uh-huh.
little maintainer symbol, and then, to show a little bit of, because yeah, dude was not the best person, but he was still his boss, and still, he did what he thought was right. Like, and then yeah, so, and then all the other maintainers there just, I think Landris just needs a minute. Like he just kind of is going to slump down after that and sort of contemplate his life's choices that have brought him to this point, because that's kind of a heavy thing to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, Laundress spends a bit of time. I assume everybody else kind of stands around awkwardly, maybe for a bit, and then start working on other things.
After a bit, Mishavan goes over to Landris and says, "Hey, you're
Uh,
you're the one that made it. You got to keep going in honor of all of them."
and he'll sort of nod, like he, for once, Landris is not actually paying attention to anybody else around him. Like if there was ever a time for Tomei to go and get away with like nonsense, this is the time. Uh, but yeah, no, he's sort of not like he gets it. It's just, yeah, and he sort of picks himself up because you got to keep going. Maintainers get lost all the time. It sucks that these were these ones, and he's gonna sort of think back of, because there's got to be a policy. Kenneth knows people were here, and these people were clearly here. There has to be there's in the maintainer's handbook, right? In the, how to survive, da, 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 da. There has to be your linking book's been destroyed by accident, steps, survival steps 1 through whatever, right? So what would be the maintainers who clearly have dug these, what would have been like the most logical course of action for them to take? Because he's gonna dive himself back in, and he's gonna go back to dotting every I, crossing every T.
Go
That
ahead and
neurotic. So okay, neurotically
go ahead and
cautious.
make a
Yeah.
survival roll at 3,
Um.
Yeah, if somebody buried them.
just to kind of get kind of the general scope. You'll get something. If you fail, I'm
That's a
not gonna
4. I would say that's a 4. It's a +2. So when I have a 2 on this sheet, so that's a 4.
Yeah. The standard, sort of thing in this situation would be to, um, well, one is to, to develop, some sort, to remain some sort of contact with the Lincoln point, because if there are other books, they're likely to come to that point, especially on a new area, which would make sense why, the area around the Lincoln point has been, has been a place where they stay, where people stayed, but also, the basics of survival. Find food, find water, find shelter, as needed, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Um, this area, there's not really a lot of, water source around here.
Right.
As far as anyone can tell, the water was, kind of from an underground water table.
Right.
I
Um,
think it would have
Land-
gone west, wouldn't they? Like if they knew
Well-
Tellin and knew Tellin's obsession with the whole ocean thing,
Right.
they've
So
gone
yeah.
west.
True.
Right. Because and of all the people here, Landris has been half day that way, half that. Landris knows the most about this area. And is there anything from that, and now putting these 2 bits, that might give a clue? And is there any sign of their continued communication with the link endpoint?
Go ahead. What would be good one? What skill do you want to use for this check?
I mean, research doesn't seem right.
That's not really
Um,
a sort of book research sort of thing. Maybe survival, maybe
uh,
surveying.
I guess I do survival again. Notice and survival are the same
Uh-huh.
for me, so either one of those. So we're gonna go purple this time. We're gonna see how these guys work. I'm never gonna probably use these again. Might as well. All right, purple. That's fun. These dice are weird, by the way. I don't like them.
How
That's
well
a
do they roll?
5
That's the
though.
important part.
Yeah, that's a 5 though, so that's okay. No, they instead of doing opposite faces like every other fate die, they do 1 2 and then 1 2, and
Oh,
then
okay.
the
Oh well.
blanks are
Oh,
opposite. It's
But
weird.
okay.
so you've got 2 questions for for the area based off that. So
Yeah.
what's your
So
first question?
okay, are there signs that they've actually maintained the current coming? Like, what would the signs be that they've maintained the current communication, or at least check out? Like, is there a patrol path? Is there signs of a patrol path? Is there like is there okay?
Have they been
Yeah,
cleaning up around the graves?
no, 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 I got this. I got this.
Okay.
Instead of relying on the Great Zero, is there say like a field unit antenna that allows D's or keys to work on a more local area network so they can maintain communication that way? Like, is there anything to show signs that there is still some form of Dunny interaction per the strategy?
I'm sure there could be.
So, um, you do find some, kind of going through some of the things. You find some equipment that seems that some very old equipment that seems like it could have been used for that, but it's out of repair and it hasn't been maintained for. I mean, you've never seen equipment out in the field that have been weathered this much. So they've so it's been a very long time since any of this equipment was used.
Yeah, so he's gonna point it to Mashaban and hand him like the technical document out of his little field book, you
Mhm.
know, his little maintainer pack that he carries, right? Hand that to Mashaban and point it out, and at, he's still kind of struggling with words, but I think he's not being like rude about it, but he's trying to still like you're the person for this job. Can you assist?
Of
So,
course.
Okay. So what are Tomei and Q up to?
One thing that Tomei is curious about while we're standing in the cemetery is whether there are dates on the grave markers which would indicate how old these people, like for example, Tellen were when they died, and then kind of comparing that age to how old he was when we knew him.
They don't have any ages on them, actually.
Darn.
For Denis grave markers, they're actually relatively plain. They just have sort of the guild symbols and the name.
yeah, I'm
Okay.
picturing the one for Tiana on Myst Island.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
So but I mean beyond that, there's not a lot more information there. You know, these have this area hasn't been it's this area hasn't been maintained for a while. So everything around here looks like no one's been here for a long time.
Yeah. So it seems most likely that time and age were the cause of death, but yeah, Tomei's just curious whether the death was related to the events that we experienced at the beginning of, or whether they had a whole other chapter of their lives after that.
It's really hard to tell with what's here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think in a sign of her personal growth, Tomei is not going to run off. I don't think there's really any where that she wants to run right now, and she is actually going to come over to Landris and offer support in the same way Mishaban is, and just sort of say, it's not our fault that this happened, but there might still be something that we can do about it. So, like, hold on to these feelings and maybe they can drive us forward. Maybe this doesn't have to. I'm trying to avoid saying the ending has not yet been written, but like,
Yeah.
But so what's Q up to?
The thing is that with the huts cleaned out and there's absolutely nothing there, and people are buried, it looks like whoever was there packed up everything and moved, because it's different than on Kennelin where people were forced from their homes or unexpectedly moved out because there's nothing left.
There's very
These
little
people
left.
must have gone somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of wants to know where. So she'd be interested in following a couple of these paths to see if there's like a trail of breadcrumbs, or maybe she could find, a piece of belongings that might have been left behind, to see if she can find a clue as to like which of these paths, the settlers or whatever they are, have decided, because obviously they've abandoned a decent site that they'd set up agriculture, they had houses built, they'd had a life there, but something made them move.
Mm-hmm.
So she, kind of wants to, why would you spend all that time setting up a house if you didn't have water?
Mm-hmm.
And why would you build huts? So they must have had water. They must have at some point have had all the things they needed, but something made them move. So, wow, she didn't even think about it being like a giant predator or anything. It'd be hilarious. Like, we didn't actually scope it out. They're like, oh yeah, Sal is totally safe. We have a team there. And then they get there and it's like pterodactyls, by the way.
Landris, why didn't you tell us?
Right? Yeah, she'd be interested in going and checking out some of those side trails and seeing what's going on.
Why don't you make a surveying roll at 4?
She doesn't have surveying.
Do you have survival?
She doesn't have survival either, but she does have notice.
Okay, try a notice at 4.
Okay. Thanks a lot, dice. I forgot to put these in the bad boy dice section. Anyway, 0. Thanks, Kenneth.
Unless you're wanting to succeed at a cost, you're probably not going to get much off that one.
Yeah, no, she wouldn't.
Or if there's any aspects you want to tag or anything.
I don't really see anything that's going to. It's not that exciting either, so I can't even use anything adrenaline based. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Mashavan, you're helping kind of go through stuff and.
Yeah, going through maintainer stuff and making a key signal detector is kind of what I understood. You wanted, Landris?
Yeah.
So this stuff is in disrepair.
Right.
What Landris would be trying to figure out is, 1, get it functional, and 2, figure out where it's talking to, because typically these shortwave things, rely on triangulation and nodes.
Okay.
So much more like
Good idea.
Like when you're out doing what the heck's it called? Oh, you have a little 2-meter beam and a ham radio, and you're finding a bird.
Do that with like microwaves too. Like when they're measuring distances on either side of a river, they'd set up points with microwaves.
Yeah, it's a type of surveying, and it uses radios to do it. But
the basic principle is applicable in lots of different ways, in different ways, depending whatever the sort of signals you have. So
right.
So
Mashavan, you're putting together something like that, or?
I guess so. I can't. This is a little bit outside of my real life experience.
It's.
But no, I mean, so essentially, the goal
idea
is to be able to try to get something that detects the key signals so that you can home in on where people might be.
Mm-hmm.
Also, what did you do with that seed?
I left it in the cave.
Okay.
I didn't remember us talking about that.
Okie doke. So, Mashavan, go ahead and make an engineering roll at 4, because it's particularly old materials you're working with here.
So I would like to use my stun. Something from nothing.
There you
go. So I'm going to spend a fate point and say that, besides the actual machine, there's a lot of kind of random bits of Denis leftover debris.
Yeah, just small bits here and there.
Yeah, and so I'm going to call those jury rig materials.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going, let's see, to roll really well.
Oh, wow.
So I'm at a 7.
Okay, that is an excel.
Excellent.
So,
excellent.
I'm going to give you an aspect that perpetuates, which is, going to be sort of, advanced lattice technology.
Oh boy. Oh
because
boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
You've sort of been able to put together you kind of just figured out just the right way to kind of click these things and connect them to the lattice really well.
Ooh.
So when you turn it on, you realize not only is it created the lattice sort of setup that goes between keys, it's connecting to it's connecting a cross edge to the original Denis lattice.
Wow.
And then suddenly there's this huge download of data onto your key.
Oh God, how many hate mail do I have?
The thing is that it's been all this information. I mean, all this information that comes down, it's encoded in some sort of writing system that you are not familiar with.
Oh boy.
Oh.
So I don't have
somebody has gone through and like redone all the stuff that shows like the actual text, and now it's some weird blocky text.
Oh God, it's an
So I don't.
Roman, baby.
With all these angles and
angles
these
and
curves and complete gibberish.
Yeah.
So I don't have a bunch of messages from Tellin being like, Landris, we're here on Sallow. You need to come help.
Nope.
We're dying, Landris. Please come save us, Landris.
Okay,
You're
thank
supposed
goodness.
to be
That
here.
would suck.
Yeah, Landris might not make it through that. Not right now, anyway.
Yeah. Phew. Spared by the whole translated gibberish garbage.
There's a lot of it. I mean, it just keeps coming.
Oh my
like
goodness.
it's right, like it's
humans
you're
totally
sort of
do
like
this
a dump
though.
of all the data that was kind of like in a buffer somewhere.
Oh my gosh, does it download like a Discord app to our phones? Or does it download a strange gray app to our phones and ask us if we want to connect to the Uber Live community?
There's a lot of messages about people asking about your vehicle's insurance. No, sorry.
Oh, that's for you, Mashavan.
I am a Nubian prince.
But and the download is continuing. So I mean, there's a amount of data that you've probably not ever seen before on one of these devices. Just keeps coming in.
I'm impressed that there's storage space for all of that.
Oh, it's gonna be there's gonna definitely be a problem for that soon.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, even light encoded crystalline structures have a limit.
Yeah.
What if each of us if Kenneth deletes everything that's come in so far, and then she gets the next chunk because everyone else's is full, and then each person deletes so that Mashavan has the first of all the new stuff, and then Kenneth would have the second, and then everyone delete, Landris would delete his, and then he'd get the third chunk, and delete, and then she'd get the fourth chunk of download, and then we could compile them later.
That's the big thing Landris will have it because Landris is going to be convinced until we find some way to translate this stuff that some of these early messages are going to be from the maintainers. And they're going to go, they're going to
keep
provide
the first chunk and then someone else can do the deleting.
So,
it's just an idea to do it in stages so that we can have all the info and not everyone be full.
So I'd like to use my second question.
Okay.
Because I have two. So all right. when these dumps are coming in, because we have the Ds, we have the keys. Is it okay? It's coming in somewhere. Is the earliest information coming in still in Dunny, or has it all been transcribed to this new language? And if so, is there a way that we can differentiate the stuff immediately after, right when the fall was occurring, so that we can find out what was happening?
Yeah. Transcription
That's
date doesn't
probably
necessarily
beyond your personal skill level with this sort of thing. The
Right.
technology was really brand new at the time, even though it was maintainer tech, and it's not, you're not really that sort of thing,
Right.
All you can tell is really is that there isn't any, you don't recognize anything that looks Denis amongst the encoded decoded texts.
Okay. There's not like sent message dates that make it. Yeah.
Nothing.
Okay.
Everything in there is just in everything that you can get out as dates
Crap.
or whatever. All of it has been converted except for some of the sort of old basic symbols that are the same on yours.
Mhm.
All we know, someone else could have taken over the lattice and started using it for their own things, and it might not be a translation. Like, we don't know if it's a translation of something that we want to know about. It could be that someone else is using the lattice.
Yeah. So.
Right? We wouldn't know. We can't read it.
See, now that makes me want to go to Meshavan and say, "Hey, can you shut them out? Make them stop using it."
I mean, not from here.
I mean, you could
You can't hack the mainframes.
You could wall off. You could kind of disconnect. This from the greater lattice, and you guys can still kind of use your section, as it were.
Okay.
Which seems to have been untouched.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'll do that then. Just to stem the flow, so to speak.
Yeah.
And we'll revisit that at some later date and instead focus on our current situation. Like the what's the word? Somebody has co-opted the Great Zero or something of that sort. And we'll leave that for now.
Strategically reappropriated.
There you go.
Okie doke. So what's the next step then? What are you guys going to be doing? Are you
Would have been neat to try contacting Celia before we disconnected to see if it worked.
I'm sure. Yeah, send a quick message to Celia, wait a few seconds, maybe 10 seconds to see if we get a response.
Yeah. So there's no signal coming in from Celia, period, at this point.
Okay.
Oh.
Then we'll
So Naramai is not on the network.
That would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
We'll cut off the external
Javon is
connection,
probably also not on the network.
but that's likely true too. Yeah, then definitely cut off the external connection for now before all of our technology gets overwhelmed.
Yeah, we got to make a cloud, man.
I mean, technically, it is sort of cloud, anyways. So it's just sort of a subsection of the lattice, which is also kind of like one thing.
No, see what we need. What we need is a giant cabinet. Okay, lots of paper inside, and about maybe 10 to 12 wheels that are powered by Squee. And that'll clearly solve all our problems.
Yes. Yeah, you were a bit tired there.
We do have naked mole rats. We could use those.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
We have our own, Squee powered or naked mole rats powered server.
Yeah.
Or there's
That's
like
the
electric
ticket.
jellyfish on Adana.
Oh yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Gotta get the power from somewhere. Okay, so are you guys going to continue to check out Salo? Are you going to check out any other ages?
Okay, so he turned that on. Okay, so he turned that on before he's able to close it off. Can I see if there's another beacon point, like, or another node on Sallow?
At this point, I mean, like I said, you're kind of starting to go. You're in areas that you, as Landris, is not as
Right,
skilled with.
right, exactly. Like he's just going off of his book,
Yeah.
and
Is
like
there-
what? Because yeah, out of character, I realize there's probably the node itself is probably like in the same amount of disrepair somewhere else on the stage, but
Right.
Landris in emotional state
Yeah.
is gonna be like sitting there on his key, like, okay, where's the next node? No, I don't want to look at relieving my credit score. Like
Because that's
all
the
that.
tricky bit, right? Like without getting the other two nodes up and running on Solo, we can't even find
Right.
out if there are any other keys in existence, like are all active on
Right.
the
Yeah.
page.
Yeah. Izani has the point there. Yeah. That's kind of, Landris hasn't gotten that far yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what he's
I mean,
thinking.
the key tech was relatively new, so I mean,
Right.
it wasn't really well. Okay, the documentation was not well distributed yet.
But the D's,
That sounds more like government.
but the D tech,
Well, I mean, even the D tech is relative. I mean, for Denis technology, it was relatively new.
I would
he
say
hadn't
for
even
Denis
gotten mostly
technology.
out to the Denis people.
Right. I was going to say for
Probably would've
Denis
had one
technology,
early.
it's probably in its infancy because remember, for Denis, new is like 200 years old.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, so yeah, there's not much in your manual about the key specifically.
right.
Without proper
Oh,
survey,
crap.
it'd be too hard to figure out where the other points could be because
So
we haven't surveyed it.
Yeah. So Landris has a revelation now.
Uh-oh.
So the node network's not working. Landris pulls out the book to Dunny and looks at the panel.
The panel is dark.
Thank God. Okay, we're good. We're safe. Never mind. Nobody's coming for us. We're good.
Denis still not there. We're good. Wait,
Yep, still
what?
not there. Clearly nothing works still, and it's okay.
It's kind of a weird place. Like we're afraid of the Denis being there, but we missed the Denis.
Yeah.
No, because suddenly Landris is like paranoid about whoever has co-opted the network.
Okay. So so what's Tomei doing at the moment?
So her two main priorities are still keep an eye on the seed, figure out the seed, and maybe get a new maintainer suit that seems adequate to linking back to Denis. So I like the idea that maybe the maintainers continued, kind of picked up where we left off and continued that exploration out towards the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So my suggestion would be go back, get that seed, keep an eye on it, carry it around, but start moving, is it west, east? I don't remember, towards the coast.
West, I believe.
West. Yeah, and see, if they were doing ocean exploration, maybe there's some old maintainer gear there that we can salvage. I don't think we have too many other leads, but I don't want to just leave the seed sitting back at the cave indefinitely. I'm concerned about that.
We're going to link back and it's already going to be a tree.
If we could find the other points and set up the triangulation, technically we could have a camera on the seed and then you could go home to Narromai whenever and just keep an eye on it.
That is true.
Right? If that's all we need is to set it up so that we have a lattice that works and it should, right?
We could do that. I guess we could, and then we could always link back to that point to get there fast.
That's probably where the game trails lead, is towards the other node points. Maybe? Then you could keep an eye on the seed whenever you wanted, which would be great.
I approve of discreetly monitoring the seed from a safe distance.
Tomei should probably stay away from the seed.
I'm afraid of Tomei touch it now.
I would feel better having eyes on the seed too, like coming back and finding it as a basketball. Terrifying. Like if
Mhm,
we
a
can
little bit.
set up a way so that we can communicate between, make our own lattice network, basically. That would be good, I think, because then we can start connecting Laundress's ages as he writes them too. We'd be able to communicate with each other when we're exploring in different ages. Right now, Celia has no idea what we're doing. We have no idea how she's doing. Like she could have a broken leg somewhere and we wouldn't know until we get back, right? So
Yeah.
I think getting that up and running is a good idea.
Okay, so we'll do. Does someone want to dedicate their D to the task, or do we have an extra?
Yeah, wait,
Yes.
you have an extra. If we can find it, Laundress set one on a little raft and set it through the underground cave system.
Yes, I did.
Which
This is back in Javon,
probably
right?
recirculates. That'd be
Yeah.
hilarious if it ended up at shore, like ended up back where it was. We have no way.
That was in Javon.
Okay.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Wait,
Yes.
which there are two different ages that we're referring to as Javon? There's the original age that Landers wrote, and then there's the age that we were transported to by the seed, which was from Landers's original age.
No, that's still Landris's original age, supposedly. But
I
Yeah.
thought only the immediate surroundings were, and I thought
Only
that
there is immediate surroundings that was moved to somewhere,
yeah,
Mhm.
but the immediate surroundings inside the dome are Javon.
Yep.
yeah.
all of
So
that.
when you so the surface is also still Javon. So fox hunting is what I was talking about with the radios. Thank you. Sorry. Basically, they go from transmit to receive, and then you go out with a little square antenna, and you
Oh.
find where they are.
So,
Anyway,
okay.
sorry.
So what's actually happening? What are you guys actually doing?
Well, I think we're going to get the seed.
Mm-hmm.
We're setting up a nanny cam for the seed.
Yeah.
So you're gonna link out and then link back into the location, right? Back to the secret
Can we
location.
set up a nanny cam that'll work while we're on Sala while we go and try to find the other
Also,
points?
Can we stream video from the seed to our Ds?
so we've only been able to do still images before.
Yep.
Also,
Can
I guess the still images were able to be secured.
Can we
I'm
just
worried
put,
about all the spam.
What, Alana?
Can we just put the seed in view of the linking panel, because we have a linking point very close to there. Maybe
Oh,
You're so smart. Ha!
it's a low tech way.
Yeah, you can do that. That works. Laundress can do that in about 5 seconds.
Yep. So
Perfect.
so you guys are gonna link back to we're gonna do the same sort of shuffle to get you back to the
Well, I don't think we need to do a full shuffle if we just need to get in a view of the linking panel.
Yeah.
yeah, but to get back there
Yeah.
because you're at the original section of Salo,
Right,
so you gotta link out and then link back to the secret place.
right.
Okay.
I don't
you
think
guys
the
are doing
entire
that
group
then.
needs to go, right?
But Laundress will. We don't all have to, is what
Yeah.
his point was.
Go ahead, Landris.
Oh, I don't like that look. Oh man. Okay. Yeah, that's
What
fine.
look?
Um,
The DM's look of doom.
yeah, a little bit. That's okay. I've had that look many times this weekend. I have also at some points this weekend asked, I wonder what Mashavan would do, because this seems like a Mashavan situation. But anyway,
that means a
Shall
lot.
yeah, so
There you go.
so Landris will link out and then link
When
back
you go
in.
to link in
Oh dear.
to your hiding place, you'd happen to notice that through the linking panel, things look very different.
Yeah, it's a tree.
Nope, you don't see any trees.
What do I see?
You see what looks like sort of the inside of an old style Denis hall that's full, but it seems to be full of like temporary beds.
Oh God, the swap already happened.
Huh.
So having not finished abduction, I don't know what's happening. But so
Okay.
this is very interesting. Um, shoot. Okay. Do I see? Okay. Is there any iconography that I recognize?
I mean, there's definitely old, oh,
I'm still here. Hold on, it's coming back.
okay. Do you want me to keep talking, or do you want?
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Okay. I mean, the iconography is Denis. It's ancient. You know, Denis. Thousands of years old. Um, but it looks
Hmm.
like it looks like a relatively ornate hallway, ornate not hall, ornate sort of hall, but that someone's shoved in a bunch of like temporary bedding into, like someone's turned it into like barracks.
Right, and there's no like maintainer symbols or other stuff, right?
No.
Okay. All right.
No strange triangular-ish shaped symbol.
There's no, well, no, mostly looking for like maintainer symbols, that kind of stuff.
I mean, there's only you can't really like rotate the view or anything like that.
Are there belongings strewn around the bed?
It's hard to tell. I mean, there's like bedroll blankets and that sort of thing like that.
Everything's recognizable.
Yeah. I mean, as best as you can. It's all very rough.
Huh.
Okay, does
What are
it?
you gonna
Okay.
do, Longus? Are you just gonna like link back to us and be like, "Hey, dude, why are you here?" Like,
No, no, I because Landris knows if he says something, we're gonna wind up going there right now, and Landris is not ready for that.
he's
Are there
taller than
people moving
Chobei.
around?
Maybe he could just.
Are there people moving around?
You don't see anybody moving around it through it.
But
Okay.
it's clear people have been here recently.
Well, I mean, have you blinked through? Or are you
No, I'm still looking at the pen. No, Landris ain't linking through until he knows what the heck's going on.
It's hard to get a lot more detail, through the linking panel.
Yeah, Landris
Because
is
it is
straight
kind of
about to.
small.
Yeah, yeah, Landris is about to burn this book and call it a wash. I'm sorry, guys. Like, this is the kind of stuff that makes Landris go. There's a specific section of the Maintainer Handbook that's like, don't mess with weird stuff like this. Like,
Appendix E, weird stuff.
right. There's no like, oh, man. It just looks like a bunch of, for lack of, it looks like basically a dunny refugee camp.
Could be. I mean, it's definitely an ancient dunny room that has been turned into a place where lots of people are supposed to sleep in, and it's it's you know nothing in there is like good quality in terms of like it's like slapshod you know what somebody put this together very quickly. you know they're not like they're like basic bunks and sort of thing.
So it looks new, not like people have been doing this for 3,000 or 300 years.
I mean, it's kind of. I mean, you don't see anything to indicate that it's really old. You don't see like layers of dust or cobwebs or anything like that. Any of those sort of signals. Once again, you're trying to do a lot through that little linking panel. It's about yay big.
Well, I understand that.
Great if he was like looking at it so closely that his nose touched the panel.
Well, no, okay, okay, all right. So here's the issue, and here's where Landris is struggling, right? Okay, there are dunny through that panel. We want dunny through that panel.
That seems good. Yep.
However,
so far,
we still don't know what's happened. We still don't know what's going on here. Linking books are changing. Some are going dark. Some are now doing this shit stuff. Sorry, I'm tired. Forgive my language at times.
Understandable.
Some are doing this thing, right? And Narami is the only port of safe harbor. Javon isn't even a port of safe harbor because it's got weird tree chicanery happening. All right.
And the bubble of
Weird,
death.
And
Weird Tree Chicanery is the name of my next punk band.
right. And so the only linking books that Landris knows will always work at this moment are Narami, and he is not about to go, especially if they blame us for the fall, or especially if they blame us for whatever was happening, and they take the Narami book from Landris. That's not acceptable either. So Landris is having a real hard time at this precise moment, and he's trying to get as much information through this panel before anything else.
I think at this point you've probably gotten about as much information as you can through that panel. I mean, you're looking through a small window that you can't really see much more.
Then Landris is going to go take this book somewhere and hide it so that nobody else knows where it is. Because he knows the second he comes back and he tells people about
this is going to backfire, right?
Out of character, I have no illusions about this like working out. But
throw a big surprised face.
Yeah, the Pikachu surprised shocked face, just like anyway. But no, he's gonna go put it somewhere that nobody else can find it before he goes and tells them, because the first thing that's going to happen is he's going to mention, hey, I found the dunny, and everybody's going to try and get through the dang panel before we can have a rational discussion about how to proceed.
Okay, so you're going to hide it, and then you're going to link back, you're going to do the shuffle once again.
Yes.
And, I assume we're using some sort of intermediary age like, Kennelin or Heller or something.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, Laundress links back while you guys have been. I guess I should say, what have you guys been doing while Laundress is away? Anything in particular, or do you want us to jump forward to when Laundress links back?
I was gonna say Laundress could probably stare at this panel for an hour before making a decision. FYI.
We have binoculars. Yes. Rangefinder, binoculars, or something.
Yeah, those would be basic sort of.
Because Kenneth would have probably gone with the hey, let's climb a tree and see if we can find the other points on the horizon. To kind of.
There's not really much different on the horizon. I mean, there's just more of the those sort of
the
forest circles.
So she can't see the other column, the other communications towers. That.
Oh no, just things like that. No.
No, I doubt they'd be on a line of sight.
Well, you never know. But yeah. So I mean, there's nothing in the area that you can, from a high point, you can see that stands out.
Okay.
Mashavan, have you been doing anything?
I think Mashavan would have. If he can't detect nearby other communications towers without getting the entire backup of the internet. I think he would just be kind of trying to parse through what got downloaded. Like, is there anything useful in here right now?
I would go ahead and make an engineering roll at 4.
Okay.
And we'll use that as for to load up some questions for you.
Okay. That's a 3 total.
Anything you can tag?
Let's see. I don't think my jury rig materials earlier would help with deciphering stuff.
Unfortunately not, no.
No. Okay. Okay, so
I think they started playing cryptogram with it,
Right. I was thinking like I have one of my aspects is that I've been missing playing games with people. Can I make this into some sort of a game somehow? I don't know. That seems a bit of a stretch.
I mean, your no
So
stone left unturned one, I think, is the one that's probably the most likely.
that's true. Yes. So let's do that one.
Okay, you gonna go for a +2 or a reroll?
A +2. That'll just
Okay,
get
so
me
you
up
get
to a 5.
you get one question.
All right. Um, let's see. So in this giant download, what pictures do I see, if any?
Pictures. Hey.
There's a lot of things that look like corrupted picture files.
Okay.
Like corrupted pictures, like things not being working properly. Um, um, you
Just
do
butt
in
lift
the amount
selfies.
that you got, you do get some just sort of basic things of like shots that seem to be of like Denis, like just sort of like Denis walls and such. Like someone's testing out the cameras. Like obviously
Okay.
not like pose shots. Like you can see some you know it's on a table and and you can see the wall and you can see part of the molding sort of thing like
Mhm.
that. There weren't a lot of shots in this particular bit of data that you got downloaded.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, that's all you can
Hmm.
really tell with what that. You'd have to work on it more to kind of get work on it more to get a better idea. Which means from a game perspective, you need to kind of tell me what you're doing different, and then make a roll again.
Okay. Um, I think the thing I'm doing different is waiting until I'm in my workshop.
Okay. Cool. Uh-huh. And what's Tomei up to in this period of time, if anything?
When Lendris didn't return, Tome started pinging him by D every like minute or two, being like, "Hey, so what did you find? Like, hey, I'll follow you. Like, hey, could you send a picture?" And when she gets tired of that and needs to do something else with herself, she goes and ducks behind a nearby tree and uses her dressed for the occasion stunt to change into an outfit that will be good for athletics and survival on Sallow.
Sure. Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, it's mostly just gonna, it's not particularly hot or cold, so you don't need to, kind of gear up for that. But it's just, definitely, stuff, for things for a long hike,
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
thing, and some stuff that, some pack, setting up a pack so it's easy to carry, sort of thing on your back and such. But yeah.
Trekking pole.
Okay, so we'll have Laundress's message come through. Okay, well, what is Laundress doing? Is he sending a message or is he linking through or?
Um, so, God, yeah, I think he would send a message saying, "Hey, y'all should come back to Narumai for a minute so we can have a chat."
Uh-huh. That's the message you get.
All right.
And he took he took a picture of the panel with his D so he can show them what the picture looks like. So he can show them what the panel looks like.
So yeah, he sends a picture of
No,
he
I don't
built some
send the
panel
picture. No, I don't send the picture.
Oh,
I
okay.
have it on my D.
Okay,
So
just have it.
we can discuss.
Oh,
Okay, so yeah, I'm assuming that you then left the Narumai book with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't take it with me. It's not a Relto. There's one like in Kennel. We're using Kennelin for our staging. So yeah, then we go to Kennelin and then
Okay.
we're to Narumai.
Okay, so you guys
Or
headed
Javon
back,
or wherever. Yeah. Probably probably Javon for right now. No, Kennelin. Right. Kennelin was where we put.
Yeah.
Yes, no,
So are you guys
Kennelin.
headed back
Yes,
then?
sorry.
I
No.
think so.
No?
No?
yeah. No.
Tome's going to text back and say, so did you move the seed?
That what?
Landris, did you move the seed? I'm texting this to you.
I found the dunny. That's all you get.
Oh dear.
That's literally all it says.
Um, huh. Um,
I found the
Uh,
dunny. Wow.
I had a whole plan. I had a whole plan for what Tom I was going to do next, but
And then Landra screwed it all up.
I think she can't. Well, I had a plan for what she was going to do in response to you screwing it up, but then you said the
Oh.
thing about finding Dunny, and I think she can't ignore that. Oh boy. Okay. I guess she's going back to Naramai then.
Yeah.
So we're reconvening on Nermai then?
Yeah, we
I-
can't really resist that, can we? And Mishavan wants to go back to his workshop anyway, right?
I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, this is probably a good time to take a quick break.
Mhm.
Yes,
And
I
then
agree.
after the about a 10-minute break, we will reconvene on Naramai.
Pardon me.
Awesome.
Okay, everybody in the chat and on the stream there. We will see you in about 10 minutes. Thank you very much. Shara, welcome back. Hope you had a good break. We did. And we are ready to move on with the game. And we were, all of our, stalwart, explorers were returning to Naramai, to find out what Laundress was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So, you come together on top of, one of the floating mountains.
Yeah. So Landris's D, he's like taking it off and just like set it on like the pseudo like makeshift writing table he's got with the image like open for everybody to see.
So,
And it's a picture of the book's linking panel.
Yeah.
Yes. It's multiple, yeah, it's multiple pictures of the book's linking panel. You know, if there was any activity or anything, like anything that could be different. And I say, like, that's the book that takes us to where the seed was.
Huh.
Well, we should go, right? I mean, if it brings us to where the seed is, which we wanted to check up on, and if it potentially brings us back to a safe part of Deneve, we should go. Where is the book?
Well,
I mean,
we don't know what's going on.
Didn't go.
Hmm?
I understand why you didn't go out of an abundance of caution, but now that we're all together, we should head over there, right?
So Landris takes a second and breathes. Says, we don't know what's going on. And yes, there's an abundance of caution. And they don't know what's going, they don't know us. For all we know, because you have a UO from you that's been running around for a very long time and doing all sorts of other stuff. And for all we know, they could be hostile towards us. I can't be the only one who remembers what happened with the Pento from our history lessons. And you just go headlong without figuring out something. We've got to at least figure out some of what's going on with all these messages and stuff. Because what happens if they're thankful to see us, great, cool. What happens if they're not? And what happens if we go through and we wind up getting arrested and thrown in a prison age? What happens if, we're blamed for everything that happened? We're still trying to figure out what's going on with the seed and everything. What happens if we wind up being, identified with the cult? What happens if the Reluma, are blamed for something and we've been seen working with them? There's a lot of, well, exactly. And if it doesn't happen, that's great. But there are a lot more potential negatives than positives right now. And so we need to at least give Ms. Shaman a chance to sort out what's happening with our keys and find some information first before we just jump headlong into a linking panel.
Well, I do agree that jumping headlong into a linking panel isn't always the greatest idea. I do think you're overstating all the different varieties of calamities that could happen.
Thank you, Michelle.
Okay. Then what's happened? We have a murder bubble that nearly killed nearly killed two of you.
I do appreciate that it did not succeed.
And that is all we know for sure. We know the other seed is growing and it's gone. With this now in its place. And I would remind you, that's a linking book to Sallow, not Dunny.
Yep.
The Dunny books they're still black, right?
Yep.
Yeah. The Dunny books themselves. So we found the Dunny on Sallow, but they've had 300 years to harbor resentment for us. Or they've had however much long to harbor resentment for us. Because remember, Tellin is out there. Which means Tellin has likely had some influence on these Dunny.
Oh, that's where this is coming from. It all makes sense
They'll
now.
probably only hate you.
A very personal concern that you have, Landris. Did you even see any people there? Do did you see anyone in the linking panel?
Not as of yet. If you want to go, I'll go get the book and you can go.
I would do that. I agree with you. In general, that most of the people we've met lately have not been the most trustworthy. Some of them ended up being secret police, and some of them ended up being Talon. And I agree that we probably shouldn't be too quick to trust, but we've been through worse, and this seems very clearly to be aligned with what we've been looking for, and also to be a way for us to learn more about how these seeds work. If you're worried about linking dangers, but this is on Sallow, we could just walk on foot to the location on Sallow. It's what, half-day travel. I could probably make it there a little faster.
That would be the safer option because then they can't get here. But
Yeah.
again, I think when we go, we shouldn't have a linking book with us because I know at least if it were me and I was following rules to the letter still, any linking books on your person would be removed if there was any suspicion of mischief. And especially if they died of old age and, you know, sort of gestures to just sort of off in the distance, but sort of referring to, you know, the ones on, you know, that are buried. We haven't aged today. What's that going to look like to them? We'll be immediately suspicious. And if we have a linking book, then everything here and everything we've worked towards is done and over.
I vote that we just walk there on foot.
There's no crime.
Because maybe it's another bubble.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that seems to be the most reasonable thing to do now.
Walk on
Is
foot.
to, do the
Yeah.
half-day journey.
Mhm.
Okay. Are you guys going to do any specific preparations before that?
Yes.
Nope, I'm gone.
Okay, decided. Wow.
Yeah. Landris goes, he removes, you know, he moves the Naramai book on Kennelin to somewhere, you know, much, much further away.
Uh-huh.
And ultimately will remove all of our other books from Kennelin and put them back on Naramai so that if they get to Kennelin, they just get to Kennelin and hopefully don't find the book to Naramai. And if they find the book to Naramai and Kennelin, well, things have already gone terrible for us anyway. So
Okay. Any other preparations?
And it would just grab like one of her typical like exploration packs, like with
Oh,
the
yeah.
water filtration device and stuff. And like Oma has just gone through, it's still making the noise. Like she's like, yoink on. She's got the athletics to keep up with Tome.
And Tomei's already dressed for the trip.
Yeah.
So
For Sallow, and like, she wants to see this. She suspects there's another bubble. And she's really glad she doesn't maintain her suit in case there's like more water bubble thing going on.
Yeah, I think some sort of underwater breathing apparatus is what Mashaman would bring.
perhaps even a self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
there you go. Oh my gosh. What a thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk half a day rolling a bathysphere all the way there.
Yeah, there we go.
Good thing we got this bathysphere on wheels.
Start calling him Sisyphus.
Okay. The trip is to the place is going to be unremarkable.
Mhm.
So we'll move directly to when you get there. So you head towards the place, towards where the cave was, and it's very different there. There seems to have be about a circular area, about a couple rooms width in radius, that looks like it's been cut out of the middle of a building.
Building?
So
Wait,
like
what?
if someone had gone into a building and cut a dome out of it and then moved that out and replaced the
Oh,
cave with
okay.
that.
Whose width of a building dropped into the middle of Sallow?
Yeah, but they'd also scooped out the cave and replaced it with this building.
Oh. Effectively,
So
okay.
you can see that like the walls are cut at a curve, and when you get to it, you can see that there's actually a curved line. It's a curved line. It's a hard stop. Just like like someone had they like there is floor stone, sheer sheer side.
Hmm. Like they used a watermelon baller.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
Someone used a watermelon baller, and there. So yeah. And it's what you can see of it. I mean, it looks like it's kind of the style from you can see from the outside is very very ancient Denis.
There a shimmeriness of the bubble or no? Like
There's no shimmeriness or anything like that. No.
Well, in the age-old honored tradition of engineers everywhere, I pick up a stick and poke it.
What are you poking exactly?
Whatever some of the stone that's at the very edge, like
Okay.
not the door, or is
Yeah,
there a
just
door?
tunk tunk tunk.
Okay.
This didn't help with the water of the ocean bubble, did it?
Well, no, but also you hadn't disappeared through it. Right. You haven't disappeared yet.
Not yet, yeah.
It works sometimes, Okay, so what are you guys doing?
So we can see into the interior of it from the outside, right? It's not completely walled in.
There is some. It's big enough that there is a walled area that you can't see in. Like, one of the rooms was internally, that was internal to the building is still kind of standing there, and there's there are doors leading into that.
Can we see what was visible in the linking panel?
You don't see that from where you are.
Okay.
What was visible from the linking panel was the inside of a room.
Right. And there are no signs of the seed or a tree or anything like that.
No, I mean there's the trees from the forest, but
man, we really need that drone. Kept blowing it right in.
So what you guys doing?
No convenient mole rat to huck into there and see if it.
No. I
Trevor,
still
you got a
did.
mole rat in your pocket?
No pocket mole rats.
Have you learned nothing? No, sorry.
Apparently not.
This makes me realize
Okay.
that if you ever want to discourage someone from using a linking book, all you need to do is like build a 20-foot by 20-foot haunted house around the linking site. And they'll be like, oh no, what happened to the world as I knew it?
There you go.
Like, no, it's just a tiny little set. It's like everything else on Sallow is just fine.
That's so weird. Like a movie
Okay,
set.
so it's clearly like actual ancient Dunny in here.
I mean,
Right.
it seems like the sort of thing, it's definitely old. I mean, it's the sort of thing that you'd see like, in like, drawings and history books and stuff, just in terms of the style.
Did we call out a greeting? See if anyone's there.
That's a good idea.
Hello.
Landris is going in his head to try and remember his course on what you're supposed to do when an age begins to turn unstable.
Oh boy.
I mean, the main thing is to get out.
Yeah.
Right. Well, because you're supposed to seal the book, you're supposed to strike the stamp, break the seals, all that sort of stuff. You're supposed to document. Like he's going through okay, what are my, he's being the neurotic. Okay. Tell you what, I would like to tag an aspect.
Okay.
I would like to be neurotically cautious when I am evaluating this new part of this age, and maybe take a look around with research and try and put together things from history class and try to identify what era of Dunny this may be from.
Okay. So actually, I mean, it sounds like everybody here is going to be sort of in an investigation mode.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start off with everybody just choosing what skill they want to use to investigate with, and make a roll versus a 4.
Okay, so this is the one thing I don't have on this sheet. Do we have 2 4s now, or is it 3 3s?
3 3s.
Okay, so then research is a plus. Okay.
So what we get? Tome, what'd you get?
I got a 2 with surveying.
A 2 versus a 4, or 2 more than the 4?
Just a 2
Okay.
total. I did not meet the 4.
Q?
Yeah, I got another -2 on my dice
Oof.
for my 2 notice, so 0 again. They're
Those
definitely
dice don't
going
like
in
you
dice
today.
jail. They're the worst. I've gone through every single one. They came in a pack of 5, and they're all terrible.
So these roll really, really well. I'll tell you right now. I have a feeling why they roll really well, and I'll never use it again because I just got +4, so I have 7.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So you are welcome to have these if I ever see you in person.
Mashavin.
This is really important. I'll get my special dice.
Yeah.
Yes, the special dice.
I got a total of 3 because my dice rolled a net 0.
Oof.
So
Anybody gonna be any of the 3 of you, Q, Tome, and Mashavin, gonna be tagging any aspects, spending some fate points?
yes, as soon as I figure out which one.
And it's so useless.
Some days are
It's
like
not
that.
useless at all.
Tome, any tags?
This might be a stretch. I haven't figured out how you can obviously tag your high concept, right? In addition to your journey aspects.
Oh yeah, our high concept's just another aspect.
Yeah. So I don't think I've ever tagged my updated high concept, but it's Child of Fate, choosing your own path. And I feel like this is something related to the seed, and I'm the child of the seed, so, or of a seed at least. So could I tag that for, I don't
That
know.
one I don't think would work for this situation, unfortunately.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just at a 2 then because I rolled 0.
Okay. Q, did you find anything that you wanted to?
No.
Okay.
she has nothing useful. Most of her things have to do with like interpersonal. So therefore, or direct confrontation. That's why like I can never really tag an aspect because most things are environmental or whatever. So that's just, it's not Kenneth's wheelhouse at all.
No, I mean that time will come.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not worried. But I'm like, yeah, this is why like she never has anything to tag because it's like, yeah, she probably slept through history class, but she's rich, so she got an A. Like, hello.
So
Okay, so Mashavin, you said you were going to tag.
I am also going to tag my high concept of too clever engineer. And so I'm going to take out my engineering kit and do all of the measurements of this sphere and figure out exactly how big it is, and scrape a little bit of the stone and do some like your very basic mineral analysis, and just do all of the tiny little detail while staying very far away from the entrance to the hallway that's over there.
all right.
Okay, is anybody going into this, into the area of the sphere?
In the movie, right? That's a bad idea.
Well, okay. I think that would potentially constitute succeeding at a cost, right? I think
if you want to succeed at the cost, I mean, you can do that. But the question is, there's still the question of who's actually going to go into that into that space and poke at it, if at all anybody.
I think it depends a little bit on the order of events, but basically Tomei, I think, would circle around it and peering in and would check to make sure her bracelet's not glowing. And if by the time she has circled around, no one has had any major breakthroughs, I think she would just go in.
Okay, doke.
So it depends on how
Let's go.
everyone
Let's check see if Mashavin and Laundress have some questions.
Yeah.
Laundress
So
has 3. Mashavin has 1. Are all of your questions going to be outside, from the outside of the sphere? Or are you going to go into it all?
well, so I would like to ask a question about the outside of the sphere
Sure.
before I make that decision.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So the sphere, it's okay. The sphere is like a proper sealed in. There's no like murder bubble on this sphere, right?
Verbal. It's like Pharaoh described this. Someone took a melon baller and scooped out the cave, and then took a melon baller of a Denise structure, scooped that out, and put it in.
Okay, and with okay. Yeah, so I would actually use one of my questions then before going in, and depending on the answer, that will determine what.
Sure.
So okay. So looking at this and comparing it to what I know from the past, right? Is this from like is this an actual like ancient ruin? Do I know what era it's from? And are there any reasons to believe that if it's say from like the time of the Pento, if there's going to be any sort of possible countermeasures to prevent intrusion into a situation like this? Forgive me, I've been playing Pathfinder all weekend with traps.
I mean, there's nothing about it that seems particularly dangerous. It isn't. I mean, it definitely isn't as old as Pento, but it definitely is post period of the Kings. So
it's more from like our era.
Post Kareth.
Yeah.
So it's about. I mean, you'd say
It's around about our era.
No, it's much older than your era. You'd say it's about. I mean, it's definitely a couple millennia back.
Oh, I thought that after the Kings there was only like 400 years before the fall.
Oh no. There's like thousands.
Okay.
There's a couple millennia.
Okay, so this is like. Pardon me while I pull out my maintainer book. It has all the information, so I don't have to remember it.
That is a book.
It's a book. Okay, so this is like probably around 12th or 13th Dunny century, where we really don't know much anything.
Yeah, it is one of those areas where we don't know where fans don't know much about anything.
Yeah. So putting it right there where you can't see. Yeah. It literally is just turn of the 13th Dunny century, and the literal next recorded event in history is turn of the 14th Dunny century.
Actually, it's somewhere in there. I mean, you're not an architecture expert.
No, but yeah.
It's
okay.
but it's definitely it's not there's stuff that's very distinctive of.
It's not when Dunny was. It's not from when Dunny was paranoid. So he'll feel better about going into this area.
Dunny's always been kind of paranoid and xenophobic, but
yes, but
anyway,
still.
But it doesn't look dangerous. Nothing looks trappy or anything like that. Nothing. No weird smells or anything like that.
Yeah. He'd also go in, but yeah.
Okay. Well, Mashavin, what was your?
Can I tell where it's from in the city?
My
road guys are running away.
It disappeared on us. Oh, it's just the horses.
Back.
It would be very hard with the stuff that you have to tell where it's from exactly.
Okay. Well. So then I'd like to ask about its the well, I can tell it's a dome. I'm going to assume sphere because it seems to go in the ground.
Yeah, it does seem to go downwards, and it does kind of have that slope and such.
So I am trying to avoid metagaming. I think I'll save my question for the moment.
Okay, that's
I
cool.
will follow Landris inside.
Okay, well, the first person to go inside is Tome,
Tome.
because
Follow Tome
she was the
inside.
first person to mention it.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so you go in, and yeah, it does look like what the pictures Landris showed you of the linking thing. It is a hall. I mean, it's kind of a hall, um, and it's been sort of set up with kind of makeshift beds, as if lots of people were being housed in here. Um, um, and there's basic bedroll stuff. It's all kind of scattered in the sense of like, that's not like made beds or anything like that. It definitely was in use. Um, and in about the place where the linking, a little bit away from the linking point actually, but kind of behind where the linking point would have been. There's you see the seed, but it's like it's like someone cracked the seed open and took out whatever was in the middle and left the shell.
I didn't do it.
And that's when other people can kind of wander in behind her now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But yeah, this is definitely what you saw through the linking panel.
Mm-hmm. I poke the shell with a
Hey.
stick.
Original seed didn't have a shell.
You're right. Well, it was all glowy
It was in
and
But it was in a
apocalyptic-y.
box, but it didn't have a husk.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, yeah, or the husk is buried somewhere in the roots of Vaughn.
True.
But this pod has split open, or been split open,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks sort of dark and like lifeless now.
Would closer inspection potentially reveal whether it was actively split open by some creature versus kind of from the inside out?
Yeah, or knife marks, claw marks, that kind of thing.
I mean, nothing really looks like that. Like, don't see anything like you don't see anything like anything that looks like it was cut, or anything that was like chopped or anything like that.
Right. Or like it was cracked on a rock or something.
Or something, yeah. It's definitely irregular, and
no root systems to be found.
nothing you see here.
Okay.
Well, I guess that's kind of reassuring.
Oh, we should have checked for tracks leading away as we came in, because we probably destroyed them now.
Well, we can check the other half of the hall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
They only walked around.
Yeah, I also meant coming in from outside where like the sand and stuff is. Because yeah, that's okay. I'm sure if there are people here, we will find them.
I think Tome would have noticed if there were tracks leading away from the sphere, right?
I did
She
walk the whole perimeter, so.
did walk the whole perimeter. She would have
Mhm.
noticed like prints leading out into the grass, I'm sure.
Yeah, one would think.
Actually, I'm curious, while I was walking the perimeter, did I notice anything that had been damaged by getting split in half?
There was there was a tree that kind of had like a, well, for lack of a better word, a bite taken out of it.
Like like a sallow tree, one of the standard local.
And it went, it kind of gotten a chunk taken out of it, and it was kind of listing a bit.
Ooh, okay. Is that at risk of falling?
Possibly.
Tomei would not have really thought much about that. So I'm gonna...
What are you guys doing in here now that you're in here?
Kenna wants to go through their stuff to see if she can find out more about who is staying here.
I think Meshavan wants to look at the iconography, what there is, and he still wants to find out, like, if this is from Denis, where is it from?
Okay.
Can I tell that from the inside now?
I mean, not really exactly. I mean,
Okay.
it's it looks. I mean, you know, it's an old thing that you would expect to see in the middle of Denis somewhere,
Mhm.
but you can't really get to sort of there's not enough here to get that sort of detail.
It doesn't have a sign saying this way to the Guild of Maintainers Great Hall or anything
No,
like that.
nothing like that. No.
Okay.
You
So,
are here.
Can I ask my second question?
Oh yeah, sure.
Have these beds and stuff been used recently?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Well, if nothing else, we took somebody's home.
What are
Once
you
again, we're
doing,
the
Q?
bad guys.
Are the beds still warm?
Yeah.
Ooh. If they're still warm, they were recently vacated. Like, there could be people here.
They're still warm. Why? Yeah, that's really concerning because then I didn't see them on the panel, which means they have come back, slept, and left all in the time it took us to walk here.
I mean, and also potentially the time it took us to bury the body. I mean, the
Yep.
seed was left behind for a while.
Yeah, we don't know how long the seed was, how long it was like that. You didn't check the panel.
Well, but if the beds are warm, that would suggest within like an hour or so,
Mhm.
because those beds were definitely empty when I was looking through the panel.
Maybe we should go have another look at the perimeter. Try to see if there are people.
They can't have left no footprints though, that many people. If
Are
all
they
of the beds
hiding in the ruins then?
oh God.
I mean, do you guys want to roll some more investigation rolls or more discovery rolls?
Or do we want to go through their stuff?
I was say, so I still have one more question, so I could roll. So would that just add more questions available to the pool?
I mean, yeah, you have your questions. You have your question, but I mean, also, yours were kind of based around what what you were looking at the time. And you used what, or surveying or
Research.
research? Okay, so it'd be stuff about things that you would learned. Like it's not like it wouldn't be things about like it wouldn't be things like you would use for like survival or things like that.
Right.
Could use intrusion.
You could use intrusion.
Yeah, I was saying that's what I was about to use, because that's another +3 for me.
That was also my plan, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys
All
are
right.
using intrusion?
Yeah, let's all figure out how to break into this stuff.
I'm going to use notice again.
Okay.
That's only a 4.
And I'm going to fail it using a notice again. So
Only got 1. Terrible.
So what was it? So you said so Q, you rolled a 1.
Yeah.
No, Tome?
I rolled a -1, so
Oof.
I have a 2
The
total.
dice don't like you guys today.
No.
Are there things that you want to
Wait,
spend fate points on for rerolls or?
Thomas, find us more dice. No.
I was gonna say my dice like me just fine. I got a +1 for a 4, so.
Wow, okay. I guess my sneakiest aspect would be undercover public figure, but that's kind of specific to being a public figure, not general stuff for intrusion.
Yeah, probably not general for intrusion.
Yeah.
Okay. So and Mashavan, what'd you get?
I got a total of 2 on notice,
Oof.
which is not going to go very far.
Yeah, dice just not liking you today.
Nope.
What did you get? You said you got another question, Thomas?
Oh, I said I got a 4 on intrusion.
Okay, so yeah,
Um,
you'll get an intrusion question then.
Okay, so all right, so look, so before I use it, so looking around, so we've got the beds. Forgive me. Is there like foot lockers or other like trunks that store personal items or
Nah, nah.
so okay, so whatever they have, they probably just pack with them. Or is it okay, so you said there are multiple rooms in this little thing. This is just one of the rooms.
This is the main thing that was kind of in there. There are like halves of other rooms and stuff like that. You know, it's a hallway. It's got entrances on both ends, sort of things.
Okay.
Could I employ my stunt, no pain, no gain, or fail, but success seems close? I could spend a fate point to try again with Will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
So she would totally start like flipping mattresses with these receipts.
Right. That seems like that also seems like a leave no stone unturned.
Yes. Oh my goodness. 6.
Nice. You got 6
Yay.
total.
6 total.
So you got 2 questions for
Okay,
notice.
well, yeah, like she's looking for secret journals or something like under mattresses or pillowcases. Did she find anything?
Not in terms of the secret journals, but you do manage to find at the other end of the hallway, some evidence of a couple things that have been knocked over and sort of stepped on.
Oh.
It looks pretty recent. And kind of following out that direction, you can kind of see that, there are a couple things, that if you look at the edge, you can see that someone, like a bunch of the dirt has been kind of from that sort of really hard edge of the circles. A bunch of the dirt has been sort of tracked right there.
Out?
It's kind of I mean, it's kind of in and out. It could be people coming in. It could be people, kind of like going out at a side of an angle, because a little bit of dirt kind of up and then it's been kind of fallen in, sort of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, it's definitely, it's subtle, but it's there.
Okay.
So you got another notice question. Laundress, you still have your intrusion, I think, or did you use it? He's distracted. So.
It's because he had asked if there was any trunks or anything.
Oh yeah, there weren't any. There's not really any trunks or anything like that. That's not really a question that you need for intrusion, but you can just see there are no trunks. So
yeah, that wasn't specifically like my intrusion question.
Nothing
I was going to
secret under no secret passages under the floor.
Yeah.
Like if they're not out, you can look under. But clearly they've gone in and out.
Yeah. No, my intrusion question would have come in if there had been trunks, but no, that was just more to get a feel for what I might be trying to intrude into, other than just people's privacy.
Yeah.
Are there any clear boot prints in that dirt? Like, can I look at it and try to determine what kind of footwear? Like,
that might be a bit much.
Like if it's familiar, like it's like a maintainer suit boot print kind of a thing.
I mean, it's not. You don't see anything like that. I mean, yeah, that more detail than that is probably a little bit much, but you do still have one more notice question for general.
It's like, do we go look for them or do we stay and wait for them to come back?
Good question.
You just light their beds on fire and then they'll see the smoke and come back.
I'm sure that they'll be in a great mood at that point.
So, well, so here's the issue, right? If we wait for them to come back, people are always suspicious of people who are just waiting in their homes.
Well, did you wait outside their homes?
If we go and we look at the panel and we wait for them to come back after looking through the panel.
Or we could leave a calling card.
Maybe we could leave a note.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
And let's take the seed husk and leave a note and get out of here.
Yeah, take the seed
Yeah.
husk and leave a note. That's a
So-
good idea.
Yeah, so,
like
so
that
there
idea.
are some good points getting brought up in chat, but that's okay.
I had not looked at the chat.
Yeah, there are some good points there. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so the plan is to head off with the seed husk
Yeah.
and leave a note.
Yeah.
What does the note say?
Oh, we took your husk. No, I'm kidding.
We should give it one of our D numbers and asking for
That
communication.
technology would not have existed, right? I mean, it was new even for us.
Well, but we don't
Well,
know. We just know that the
no, but-
building was old. We don't know if
Right.
people living in there. Like I would have assumed just by how it was changed into something
Right.
Though, yeah, the,
Right.
yeah,
something
the what,
temporary, that it might be an old structure repurposed. is
That's
what
a
I
good
would-
right,
point.
like when you use an old school for a tornado shelter or like a temporary FEMA setup.
So like that's
Well,
kind of
that's
assumption, is that it's someone recent.
Yeah, is there a Dunny FEMA logo on any of these mattresses?
Nope. Nope.
Okay.
Do
Do
the
not
mattresses
remove
look
tag.
have more modern construction? Is that can we tell whether the mattresses look of more modern construction in any visible way?
I mean, they're not really mattresses per se. I mean, it's just, I mean, the whole thing looks like, someone brought in a bunch of wood and like made a bunch of stuff, stuff kind of, it's
It's not like inflatable climate,
no, it's like
Say,
it looks
guys.
like a bunch of people, people brought in a bunch of materials to make, to make, temporary stuff.
Mhm.
Y'all, clearly it's not the Dunny. The beds are made of wood.
Right, that was my
Okay.
thought too.
Suddenly everything's changed.
Yeah. Wait, if it's like,
Oh.
yeah. Is it the people who write in the funny language that took over the lattice?
Um,
Oh.
Oh,
God.
now I'm picturing just
playing
like the
together.
old camp cots from like the 80s and 90s
mhm.
that are made of like, they're the military style cots where they're just crossbar and canvas.
Actually,
Now
we
that's
should
what I'm
make
thinking
them. We
of.
should just move the husk to one of the beds that we can see through the panel. So that they
Yeah.
would go like, hey, what's the husk doing here? And walk up to it. If they just go to where the husk was to read our note, we won't see them.
Clearly what we have to do, we have to find the drone, we have to put the drone inside the husk and glue the husk back together and make it float.
Okay, so what's the plan then?
We're getting in the weeds.
I still like the note idea, just
Yeah.
saying, here's
You're
a
not
number.
alone, like what, or
Yeah, can we
something.
Something along the lines of like, we come in peace, like, do you need any help? Like, we're here for you. Like,
So is there a universal greeting, like a Bawib Granawib Midibong, that we can leave? So if it is the weird language people, they understand that we're not hostile.
I mean,
Bark.
the only language you guys really know is Denis.
Mhm.
It can even just be like, relieved to know we're not alone. Contact this number if you need help, or
and maybe some smiley faces.
yeah, I saw Jenny smiley faces. Those are
Yeah,
emojis.
can I use rapport to like make something that will at least maybe get the vibe across? Like
I mean, yeah. Who has the best rapport here?
I have a +3.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything like that. Funny.
Because remember,
All her stuff is
Glenn-
people related. It didn't say it was positively people related.
yeah.
Go for it.
Roll 'em.
Okay. That's a 4.
Yeah. Yeah, you can put
Not
something together,
great, not bad, you
Yeah.
know. So all right. Yeah, put together that, leave it on a bed where we know the panel can see. Okay. go back, make some popcorn, watch some panel.
Watch some panel.
Mhm.
Everybody's sitting back there in Narromine with the book up and just going.
Yeah.
Where are you guys gonna wait?
I would think not terribly far away, but not like to the point where, not to like the point where people are going to be like, "Oh my God, we had a home intruder," and scramble out and
Yeah.
before they've read the note.
So you're just gonna go a little ways away and kind of wait.
Yes.
Okay.
Landris knows. So, okay, the Sallow part of the area, Landris knows really, really well.
Yeah.
So I would think we could find a good spot to sort of wait, kind of have be upwind, right?
Wait. Don't you want to be
Downwind?
downwind? You want to be
Yeah,
downwind.
downwind, not upwind. Because we want to be downwind. But still with like able to see. So we should still have some kind of vantage point where we can't be really easily noticed.
Sure.
But that way we can also see how they react to the note.
Okay.
Okay.
So
using some of
you
those.
guys get settled, and you wait for a little bit, couple hours, and eventually you do actually see a couple people come in from down the end of that hall. There are about 7 people, and 2 of them are dressed in sort of old style Denis clothing.
Mm-hmm.
The other 5 don't look Denis at all. They're very tan. They're much shorter than the other guys, and they're wearing clothing that is not Denis. It's
Guys,
and several of them have have made sort of like cudgels and stuff, and they're carrying sticks.
Oh dear.
all right. So the 2 Dunny.
Mm-hmm.
Does one of them have a face tattoo and the other wear red?
No.
Okay.
The Asher.
Escher and Yisha. It's like the Escher, Yisha, and 5 random people from the
See my
cavern.
eyes
Was my first
twitching?
thought. Yeah. But he's been the secret villain the whole time, right? Like,
Mm-hmm. It's true.
And they kind of look around because they notice, obviously they've noticed that things have changed. And one of the people, one of the non-Denis people grabs the note, kind of looks at it, waves over one of the other people over, and he starts reading. He starts reading it, and then sort of looks around.
does it look like they have a key or a D or anything?
You can't see anything like that through the panel. Once again, not very much.
Oh no,
not,
we're still in Sallow. We like.
I thought you
Well,
guys were looking through the panel.
That's
No,
what
no,
I thought
sorry.
too.
Oh, see, I thought we were using Landris's knowledge of Sallow in the area to find a place within Sallow we could easily see.
Oh, I thought you guys were actually just kind of finding a nearby hiding place and looking through the panel.
No,
Because we
no,
can't see into that room
Yeah, you
from
can't
outside.
see into the
We
room from
have
outside.
to use the linking panel.
Yeah,
Right,
that
okay.
was my
Inside.
thought too.
Okay. Yeah.
At least we could see if we were on Solo. At least we could see what direction they were coming
Yeah,
from.
this entire time I've been picturing us all like sitting up like in a tree somehow, like watching from a distance. That was why upwind and downwind mattered, because we were still in the age.
Oh, you're
Well,
still in the age.
I think we
Yeah.
are.
You're just looking through the panel.
Right here.
So we
Yeah.
have to
Okay.
look through the panel in order
You're using
to
the panel
see
as a
what's inside the
CCTV,
room.
essentially.
Oh,
Exactly.
okay. So we're still like a ways away. Okay. All right. That makes more sense.
Okie doke. And so yeah, and that's where I'm going to close it for this month, for this session.
All right.
And we will start the next session with what you guys are doing next.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Okie doke. So we are about time, and I'm going to go ahead and probably do the outro and close it up relatively quickly. So thank you to everybody who's here. Thanks to our players once again. And thanks, Thomas for calling in from Gen Con and sparing a
Yeah.
little extra sleepless time for us.
Yes.
So yeah, thanks to the people in the chat, Ayazan and Junie and Rachel and Parker and all the other people. And our next session will be the 4th of September. And that'll be 1 p.m. once again,
Yeah.
Pacific time, and we'll see what happens now. Thanks everybody for coming. Celia has no clue what's going on. So.
Yeah.
But thanks for coming. And the usual outro. Make sure you buy Cyan games. Um, you know, um, and look at definitely look at all the stuff that Cyan is doing for Cyan Ventures, Area Man Lives, and Last Clockwinder, and all that sort of thing like that. And if you like what we do, we have Patreon. There's subscriptions. There's cheering bits, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So thank you guys very much, and I think I've said thank you 4 times now. But I really mean it. If I say it 4 times, that means I gotta mean it. Okay. Everybody have a great month and Shara.